I do understand it, and I know well about this, and I've studied it, and I've also spent time myself concerned about it. And what we're trying to do is to ensure the systems we put in place improve the life chances of people, get them into work faster.
When you announced this, you said that there would be 1 million people on this system by today. Well, there are 50,000.
Let me deal with
and
that.
you've wasted £40 million on IT while you're doing it.
Two things very importantly. I changed 3 years ago the way that we were doing this, because when I looked at the way the plans they looked just like tax credits. When tax credits came in, it crashed and burnt. It did not work. It cost billions to put right. I said that these big bang projects do not work.
This weekend you said that benefits cheats make your blood boil. Do people who evade or avoid tax, do those sort of people make your blood boil? And should they be delivered with the same penalties as those who have to go to jail for cheating benefits?
I've been very clear about this from the word go. If anybody sets out to do something which is illegal, to defraud the taxpayer in whatever end of the income scale you happen to be, we should proceed against you with the full rigour of the law. If you do something which is tax evasion, which is a criminal offence, and this can be proven, we have good evidence for that, then you should be proceeded against.
But unlike benefits cheats who are moved against and do go to jail, nobody has done anything about these people.
Not true.
One of them has gone to jail, only one of them has been
true.
prosecuted.
Since the government came in, we closed down 40 tax loopholes.
No, I'm talking about people.
OK, I'm going to talk about people. We've closed down 40 tax loopholes. As a result of that, we saved over 100 billion more than would have been expected through getting back tax, which should have been paid. You can be fined 200% more, so you get back the tax, and you have to pay twice again the amount if you get caught under the civil penalty. And in criminal circumstances, 2,600 people have been prosecuted and gone to jail. When this evidence, apparently, as I understand it, was passed to HMRC, was passed directly by the French government.
Yeah.
The French government caveated that when
we
passed
reported all that.
OK, so my point is now, however, it isn't over, because even now, as they get their money back from people involved in this, if any of them can be proved to have committed an offence that is a criminal offence, they will be prosecuted even now for that. Right. So my point is, we've prosecuted more people, we've saved more money, and we are going to be diligent. Nobody but nobody is above the law.
And you're going to save 12 billion in welfare cuts if you're re-elected. Don't you have a democratic obligation to set out precisely what those cuts are before the election?
Well, we will be rolling out our plans, but I have to say we've already talked about extending
the 3
freezes.
billion.
We've already talked about extending a freeze for part of it to show that we're committed to this. But I also believe it is possible to save money from this, but you do it not by cheese cutting, but changing the way that people actually live their lives to give them a greater benefit of being in responsibility, taking control of their lives, being back in work.
You said that obese people and drug addicts should be denied their benefits if they don't agree to go for treatment. But Sarah Wollaston, who's the chair of the Commons Health Committee, has said that it's both illegal and unworkable. So why announce it when it's absolutely impossible?
Well, the announcement is, of course,
to review it. I know, but
so have a look at it. We brought somebody who's highly respected in to do it. She's already,
but it's just scare tactics, isn't it?
Well, it's not. I think if you look at exactly what we said, this is a review to look at how do you get people who have a condition that is treatable, you know, into treatment that we provide.
No, but you don't do it illegally, because actually all treatment has to be consented to.
No government's going to do anything
illegal.
Well,
why announce it then?
Well, we're announcing the review. That's what we announced. Yeah,
but the review is going to tell you it's illegal.
Well, whatever.
Because you have to consent to your medical treatment.
The review will come back and talk about what the possibilities are for us to get people into treatment, including whether or not that is mandation. That is what the review is charged with. Now,
you're a Catholic. What have you got against large families? Because you've said that benefits should be restricted to 2 children per family. Now, if you stuck to that, you'd have to depend on mass immigration to replenish the workforce.
There is no policy to restrict the numbers of children.
It's been stated, however. You have stated.
Yeah, but these things have been talked about. How do you actually say to people,
but again, what is the point of raising the thing when it's not workable?
Years ago this was raised and discussed, and I think it's the right thing to discuss.
Well, you raised it.
Yes, and I think it's the right thing to discuss. On the other side of that argument that you put, you also have to argue this. People do need to take responsibility for their own lives. The vast majority of people in this country decide on their size of their families, they decide on the house they live in accordance with what they believe they can afford. I think at all levels of income, people need to be able to look at this.
But rich people can have large families, poor people shouldn't.
Well, actually,
that's your message.
No, actually, right now, if you're on benefits, many people, a large chunk of people, that actually have very large families. Now, I have no objection to people having large families, but the reality is, for people who want large families, it also bears costs, and we need to get people to take responsibility for those costs.
Secretary of State, thank you very much for talking to us.